I love having my studio. My studio is 2.5 blocks from my house. I walk here, rain or shine. Hi, I'm Jacqui Beck. I'm a contemporary mixed media painter, and I'm going to show you around my studio. I share the studio. It's actually it's a little house, and it's owned by friends of mine who are also artists. So this is a building that's all about making art. A lot of times I'm here by myself. Sometimes other people are working in other rooms. So it's a place where I just make art. I set up my studio so that I can grab stuff really fast. For example, I don't want to have to stop and open tubes, so I have a little paint box where the colors I use most often are just right there and I can just dip right in. I have a palette that I can use one day and then it stays moist, so I can close it up like Tupperware. And then I have pencils and scratcher things and all kinds of other stuff very available. Because once I'm on a roll, I don't want to have to stop and think. So I'm going to tell you just a little about the supplies I use. I am primarily an acrylic painter. I now say I'm a mixed media painter because I always put a bunch of other stuff in paintings. So acrylic paint, my favorite brand for most paint is Golden, but that doesn't stop me from using all kinds of other brands as well. I like some of Cheap Joe's American Journey acrylics. I also have two kinds of titanium white. A heavy one, which is made by Utrecht, and then I also use Nova titanium white, which is sort of pourable. I use a lot of pencils, colored pencils and black graphite pencils. The colored pencils I use are Inktense, made by Derwent. I use a really nice slot screwdriver as a scratcher to scratch back into the paint. So I'll scratch when the paint's still semi-wet. I use a paint scraper to take off dry paint. I'll also sand. Sometimes I'll even sand paint when it's still a little bit wet to like soften an edge or something. I use deli paper to make collage materials. Oh, I make collage other things like, pages from books or magazines or whatever. I use stencils and I make stamps, and you can see some videos that I have on here on how to do that as well. If I'm painting a huge painting, I paint on an easel. If I'm painting, a lot of times, I'll paint smaller stuff on the easel too, maybe if I want to get back and forth a lot, but a lot of times I paint flat, because then I can scratch and scrape and do all kinds of other stuff. However, most tables, they're too low. You bend over, very uncomfortable. So I got some PVC pipe. I think it's probably 2-inch pipe, and we sliced it up and put the table legs into this pipe, and it raises the table up to a height that feels really comfortable. I love my studio space. I really do. I mean, I wish it was 17 times bigger because, I always have too much stuff around. But I can look out on the yard, look out the windows, and it's right there. It's just so beautiful. And I painted the walls white because I like the feeling of lightness. You can see that I've put a bunch of stuff. I tack stuff on the walls. The floor is crappy linoleum, so I can spill stuff on it and it's no problem. I have tons of books. So sometimes I'll just look through. I have things that lighten my spirit. It's my space, and I love working here. I have promised myself that just coming to the studio is enough. I just need to come here. Just the act of painting gets me going. And I use Bristol board for this because it's cheap, and I'll just start doing things onto the Bristol board. The other thing I do is if I'm feeling kind of down or my energies are so one thing is chocolate. Another thing is to change my music. Bruce Springsteen's good for that. I have a bunch of different, like I have a light classical station, and I have Bruce Springsteen, and so it depends what I need, but I will dance around me and Bruce dance around in my studio to get my energy going. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed looking around my studio, and keep an eye out for some new videos that are coming up.